right, another random recap. So I am sitting with a MTV Challenge super fan. Benny, are you excited about MTV's The Challenge All Stars? Tell me how
Hey,
you're feeling right now.
what's up? Yeah, I'm super excited. When I heard about the news, I was so stoked because all these challengers that we haven't seen in forever are gonna like be back on my TV screen. So heck yeah, I was excited.
Yeah, and a little different because now it's not MTV, it's more Paramount. So I like what Paramount was doing. I was watching MTV's Real World, the Homecoming edition also, and that
Uh-huh.
had 6 episodes. And they were all pretty good, but the sixth episode was actually very, very good. It was slow paced, so it's a little bit different than the usual reality stuff. But I gotta tell you, like it gave me the nostalgia, but like I wanted more. I mean, 6 episodes was good. I think on Challenge All Stars we were gonna get 9, but
Uh-huh.
I think they're onto something over there at Paramount. I mean, and that's to say we haven't even seen what's gonna happen with Road Rules. Like, is it gonna be a really young cast? Like, what's gonna happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I love that so I had to get Paramount in order to see All Stars, which no regrets. It was worth it definitely. And yeah, Road Rules I see them doing like sticking with the same formula that they have been doing when it was back on, people in like their the 20s, 30s, I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming. But yeah.
Yeah. I like all different incarnations because the challenge, it's good for this type of audience. Challenge All Stars is good for the people who are looking for nostalgia, cast members we haven't seen in a while, which opens up the first question. Oh, but before I do that, can you say what your sort of like your expertise is as far as like you've been covering the challenge and all that stuff on your own YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Tell me about that real
I
quick.
Yeah, I cover the challenge on my own YouTube channel called Challenge Reality News. I talk about each episode of the challenge on MTV, and starting tomorrow I'm going to be talking about the challenge All Stars. So it's going to be exciting, and I
Oh,
can't wait.
stepping
Yeah.
it up, stepping it up. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so who Challenge All Stars? This is season 1, episode 1, I guess is how you would title it. Who
Mhm.
struck as far as in your mind, like, oh, I was so excited for them to be on this cast. We don't need to go through everybody, but just like who
Yeah.
were you really excited about? And if there's somebody on your mind that you're like, oh, I wish they would have got casted for this season, who would that be?
I was really excited for Trishelle to be back. I was excited for Ruthie to be back. I was excited for Jemmy, Kendall. For the guys, I was excited to see Alton for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And who else? Who else? I know there are so many more, but that's all I can think of right now.
You know who was interesting to me? Obviously, Mark's going to be the most interesting just because him sort of riling up like the idea too. Not to say
Yeah. Oh, and
MTV
Nehemiah.
and Nehemiah, yes,
Yeah.
Nehemiah, who Beth can't get enough of from the olden days and maybe even now. I guess we'll see. You know who's been fun too is Cyrus. Cyrus seems to be enthused. I always like to see an enthused player. Like obviously he's enthused on the show, but like even the way he's been really excited on social media, posting little events that he's been having. I like when the cast members aren't too cool for the room. You know what I mean? And Cyrus to me is like really in it right now, which is kind of cool to see.
Yeah. Cyrus is definitely cool. So yeah, I definitely like seeing him as well.
I am going back to some old Road Rules people. I was excited to see Yes, just because he was so old school. Like that's of the era of like when Yes and Veronica, like early
Right.
Road Rules people. Not the
I'm
earliest, like
not gonna
more.
I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea who Yes was.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, here goes my age. Yeah, because yeah, half the people they're like my age, and I'm glad. I'm like, oh, I could never compete, but I do remember him. But you know who I remember? I always thought she was more destined to be on the Real World just because she was a bit messy.
uh-huh.
Was Gisela. Gisela. She
I remember her, yeah.
I was shocked on how this episode 1 in their first challenge, she not only was the leader, but she did
Mhm.
okay, and everyone seemed to really like her. It just wasn't what I expected. Not for somebody like her. If anything, I thought she'd be the first one to go home, type of thing. Not that I
Yeah.
don't like her, but there are some reality people that are destined for the goofy shenanigans on Real World, and then they just don't compete that well, i.e. Arissa. Although I love Arissa, Arissa
Uh-huh.
just, she always struggles,
Oh, Orisa, you can't count Orisa out because she was only on one challenge, but I want to say she won that challenge though. So
Oh, I'm
I
not
want to say
sure.
she's considered a challenge champ. I might be wrong.
No,
I might be
I
wrong.
don't have a
Or she made it to the final. She either made it to the final or she won. I can't remember though.
she might have been along for one of the seasons. Like, I do think you might be right, but I mean, in all honesty, she doesn't seem like the most like physically fit. This doesn't seem like really within her personality, so you might be right. Maybe she is more in it than I think.
Mhm.
But these were some of the people that I was a little worried about. I was like, oh, I was worried about
Right.
Beth worried me a little bit. And if I say they worry me, it's not saying I don't like Beth and she's not great TV. Arissa's
Right.
not great TV. It's just, it's like they all said. The first line they said was like, oh, well, we're all like, 40 something, and the muscles are hurting. I mean, that was actually quite funny. I thought that was
Yeah,
actually
it's
good
hilarious.
TV. The whole setup was really good, like, because the other challenges are more almost like it's like almost like a cinematic, like technical, like really like on a mission. And this was like of the old school. It was very naturey, outdoorsy. I really liked the whole setup of Challenge All Stars. It
Yeah.
made sense to me.
And I love the music that they're playing with it also. I
Of
think it's really
course.
cool. They're playing like 80s, 90s music. So I think that's cool also.
Now tell me about, you said you like Kendall. Kendall, I feel like I'm having the hardest time really remembering how she stacked up. Katie comes right to mind. I know exactly
Uh-huh.
how she was. But Kendall is somebody I kind of, she was on Darrell's season of the Road Rules.
I never watched Kendall's season of Road Rules. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really watch Road Rules.
Okay.
So I just know Kendall from the challenge that she was on. I remember the challenge that she was on, and she's a beast. Like, people should not take that girl lightly. Like, she is a beast. And she proves it, she
Mm-hmm.
proved it on her first season of the challenge, and she proved it on the second episode. So
I guess that's what makes this show so good, is that you never know who's going to come. You can't expect anything really.
yeah.
It's like Big Brother. Julie says, expect the unexpected. Some player,
Right.
I did not think Hisela was going to be like, I mean, for her to have the gall to say, yep, I'll be the team lead. Like, I was so proud of her, because I've always liked
Uh-huh.
her, but I never seen her as being that. So good for her. Tell me what you think about the first challenge that they did essentially have. It was a water, they were going into the water. They had to go dive down. It made for some great like TV as far as the edit, because everyone was sort of struggling. What do you think about that challenge? Did you feel like it was the right fit for this crop of people?
Yeah, I thought it was a good challenge. I wanted to see. I remember before the show aired, TJ said on social media or somewhere that these challenges are going to be just as intense as the current season of the challenge right now. And back in the day, in the early 2000s, when the challenge was on, the challenges weren't as intense as they are now. So I'm glad that they're sticking to it and making the challenges still intense, because that's what we like to see. We want to like see hard challenges, and we want to see people getting pushed to their limit. So it was cool seeing these guys being able to do it. And yeah, some of them they weren't able to, which understandable. Water's cold, and I
Well,
don't know
that
if I would be able to do it because I'm not the best swimmer, but
Well, that's
yeah,
why
I
it
liked it.
was fun and funny to watch. I was into it. I think they're gonna do a variety. They're gonna do some really tough ones. Then they're gonna, looks like on some of the later previews, it looks like they're gonna do some of the stuff we remember, like the sliding on the ice, which was like visibly funny. If you could remember Adam years ago, sliding on the
Uh-huh.
ice. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a lot of nostalgia. So as far as the teams, Hisela's team is the team that wins, which kind of sets up the losing team, which the losing team seemed like they were going to be the winning team. That, I mean, they seem stronger. What did you think about that victory? I mean, just kind of luck, or you think there was some skill set behind it?
Yeah, I think it was skill set behind it. You know, the people on the team, like they're pretty. They were, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think they deserved the win, and like I said, like Casella really pulled through, and I was really excited for that. To see her pull through. I really love when an underdog takes over. You
Hmm.
know, so yeah, I definitely think they deserve the win. They got it fair and square. You know, that's what matters, that they got it fair and square.
If anything I love on a reality show is a confident person, even if you're not the person who should maybe be the most confident, but just Isella was.
Right.
And it made me so happy. I was like,
Exactly.
I was like, all right. And then, of course, there was the moment where in the other challenge, the previous seasons, Ace said, oh, she was like dead weight. So it kind of turns around and kind of flips because Ace becomes the person
Right.
who
Isn't that
is
crazy?
up for contention. Before we get into what Ace wanted to happen and all that stuff, and the elimination, what did you just think about the group getting together, kind of like their party atmosphere? Did it seem fun? It seemed like that good old fun, which we sometimes don't see on the current challenge because it's more mission based, and
Mhm.
TJ's gonna come in with the secret agent operative. I kind of feel like it was a little more old school where they're just drinking, they're being silly. They had made their own little music video almost. So I personally like to see that.
Well, I love it, and I don't know who said this. I can't remember, but someone posted on Twitter, an OG challenger saying like, you know, the challenge just isn't what it used to be anymore, and you know now we see the challenge all stars, and we see them, you know, having fun, and it's literally like watching the challenge back in like what 2007 2008, and it's so cool, it's so crazy, and they would always say, you know, these challengers who aren't on the show anymore, they would always say, you know, it's just the show just doesn't seem like what it used to be. And you see this, and they're just having so much fun. Like they know how to make good TV. Not saying that these current challengers don't, because the current challenge is amazing, but the
Mhm.
challenge all stars, it brings you back, and it gives you like the good feels, I guess.
Yeah, I think of the current challenge, the only one we really had was the week that Big T won, and she was so excited and she became the queen of the house. And like kind of was the only moment we had that resembling old school energy of like fun, party, et cetera, et cetera. The new
Mhm.
challenges don't really spend much time doing that. So I am thankful that they did do it on this particular different series, challenge all stars. You know what I also like? I like Anissa. I like Anissa because now she's earned her stripes on both the regular challenge, where she's kind of the
Yeah.
older gal, and then she also earns her stripes with all the people coming back, where she's like, listen, I'm hip to all this. So
Right.
she's kind of like in the lead without even having to do anything just yet. Ace, and sort of him being the first person to be looked at, I thought it was the right choice, obviously. And I wasn't surprised that he got a little snippy, but like, what else can you do but, just try to deflect because it's so early. And there's not that big of alliances really yet. So I think he was kind of back against the wall. With that being said, I didn't really want him to leave, but I mean, it kind of is what it is, I guess.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I was bummed that Ace left. I wanted to see more of him, but then again, it's like it's with all of these people. Like I really don't want any of them to leave. I want to see more of them because I haven't seen them in so long. So that's what's hard when watching this show, because you know you want to see them a little bit longer, whereas the challenge on MTV, we've seen these people season after, well, some of these people season after season. So we're like, oh, okay, it's not as bad, because you know there's a chance that we might see them next season.
Right, right. Elimination wise, just Latarian
Oh yeah.
just the strength. It was a strength driven challenge, so
Hmm.
Ace did the best that he could. Yeah, Ace always seems fun on the shows, so when he has to leave early, it's kind of like, oh, there goes like a silly guy. You kind of want that silliness, so for the sake
Right.
of that, we don't have that. But I thought episode 1 was pretty good, left me wanting tons more. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Same.
I mean, they've done it right. They've managed to give you the regular season on MTV, and then they managed to give you this really cool Paramount version. All right, well, that wraps up episode 1. We'll check back in with episode 2. Benny, what is your social media handles and all that stuff?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Benny J Adams, and you can follow me on my YouTube channel. You can just type in Challenge News Now, and yeah,
Yeah,
some good stuff.
well, the YouTube channel is pretty good. I've been a guest on it a couple times, except for one time I slept through the
Yes.
interview. So I failed that challenge. And
All good.
you also do like an Instagram for that content as well. Am I right? Or
That one is on hi Aloy. I'm working on that, working on some stuff. So that one's
gotcha.
not up right now.
All
Yeah.
right, all right. Well, just go on the YouTubes and search. That wraps up episode 1 of another random recap for the challenge. All stars. Not all of them are all stars, but we'll get to more of that on episode 2. We'll talk to you later, Benny.
See ya.